give O'Keefe a better chance of making that catch.
What's up, guys? I know it's super late for my usual, but I wanted to come on here and talk about the crazy regular season and the Braves winning our 5th straight division title and how we did it. That was insanely stressful last night with leaving a small village of base runners on, and ironically an infield single by Willie C is the reason that we won. But KJ and J.O., Kinley Jansen and J.O., Jake Odorizzi pinning his best start as a Brave outside of maybe the Pirates start in the biggest moment in the biggest game, and having 7 strikeouts, 5 innings, 1 run. That is big time veteran stuff there. I don't know how he plays into the postseason, or if he does for that matter. But J.O., right, that trade was worth it right there last night. And to do it the way we did it, and the bullpen being as good as it has been, obviously today notwithstanding, using not with this game not mattering today, using Jackson Stevens, Jesse Chavez had a bit of a clunker, but again, doesn't matter, and it was our bullpen being as good as it has been. 1.55 ERA coming into Hudson. 155 coming into today, I believe, in September. So that's the biggest thing. But I just wanted to kind of go through some of the biggest things. Obviously, the Mets series just recently was huge, winning 6 out of the last 7 against the Mets, I believe. 3 of 4 at home. That gave us the ice cream machine, and then sweeping the Mets the way we did. It just doesn't get any better than that, and for us to be able to do it and come back in every single one of those games against Jacob deGrom, against Scherzer, and do it the way we did it, was epic upon epic, and no, the Cardinals have a lot of voodoo going for them, with the Albert Pujols, with the Yadier Molina, with the possibly Adam Wainwright swan song. So that is the last dragon we have to slay, given the bad memories the Cardinals have given us over the years. But yeah, I don't think I want any part of the Cardinals. But again, if you get the Phillies, there are no secrets. We are better against the Phillies at home, but again, there's really no secrets, no. So I think we'll have the advantage no matter who we play, but baseball is baseball and anything can happen. So we will definitely see there. We talked about this last time, but some of the pieces in our postseason roster, I think Marcell Ozuna is definitely going to make the roster with how he's been playing recently. You might not like him personally, but the way our roster is, and without Ozzy Albies, I think that's pretty much a foregone conclusion that Marcell will be there, and he's put up better at bats. So you got to definitely give it to him there. I believe Von Grisham will make it as well, because you don't really have. I mean, maybe Adrianza can play there, but I think Von Grisham gives you more potential both ways. So that should be interesting. Tyler Matzik, Peter Moylan said today that Tyler Matzik could be a 2-inning type guy, and he could be, but I don't know if I can trust Tyler Matzik with the stuff that he has right now. I'm not saying that he doesn't get anybody out, but step up the most. I mean, I think I think with the unknowns of Spencer Strider, I think like Max Reed and whoever's in left field, hoping that Eddie Rosario turns to form. Robbie Grossman has had better at bats recently, but I feel like he's been a little too passive. But I mean, Max Reed, Charlie Morton, and Kyle Wright, those guys are going to be huge. And if we can get to the sixth and seventh, to keep our bullpen our probably biggest strength as fresh as possible, that would be great. So I think the starting rotation and how we line it up is going to be key, the biggest key for us to have a deep run. But obviously, and we all know we're going to strike out. We do. But competitive strikeouts, I've always preached this. Competitive strikeouts, 7, 8, 9, 10 pitch at bats. That is going to be huge to kind of eat into other people's bullpens and get deep pitch counts. And I think our 2-out magic and 2-out prowess is going to be something to watch as well. Because you look at everybody says the Mets have been a good job of battling and things of that nature, and that was true. But you look in that series that we just played them, we had 14 extra base hits. Seven of them were homers, and the Mets only had 4 extra base hits, and 3 of them were homers. But again, power always wins out, and it seems to win out in the postseason. And you got to be able to control the controllables, the walks, the hit by pitches, the self-inflicted wounds got to be at a minimum. What's up, CJ? So, yeah, those are pretty much my keys. I don't know that I completely answered your question, but those are my keys always. No, we are not having a 1-game playoff with the Mets. We the tiebreaker was the head-to-head against the Mets, which we won 10-9. So we are playing Tuesday against the winner of the Cardinals and Philadelphia Phillies. Yes. Dansby Swanson and our good D does help neutralize sloppy offense, as you put it. So that's a good case. Yeah, you're welcome, Terry. But yeah, they eliminated the 1-game 163 last year, excuse me, at the beginning of this year. So really glad that we won last night. But honestly, I was more stressed about last night than some of the games in the playoffs last year, to be completely honest, because I wanted no part of today being winner take all. So I'm really glad that it wasn't. There was some really good situational hitting today, so even though the game was essentially meaningless, there was a lot of good things. I mean, I don't I think we have an advantage against either the Phillies or the Cardinals. I just do. We have demons against the Cardinals, and the Phillies are obviously a division rival, so whatever happens is going to happen, but I'm really glad it's not coming down to 3 games, and home field advantage obviously helps. I really hope Eddie Rosario turning into Babe Ruth again would be awesome, considering we are pretty right-handed heavy. And not that that's a bad thing, but it's just the reality. And Grossman being clutch against lefties. Again, I think the left field, like Hudson said, I think the left fieldness is going to be clutch and key to see what happens. I can't peg it. I like us in any type of game, obviously, but I love our bullpen the way it's set up. Dylan Lee, AJ Minter, Raisel Iglesias has been unconsciously good, so I think he could be pretty much the X factor because he's pitched a lot, or the Cincinnati Reds pitched him a lot, and he's kind of the rubber arm. The flamethrower version of Jesse Chavez is what he could turn into and be a big key, I believe, to what the Braves can do. Yeah, I mean, the Phillies, there's really no, like I said, there's really no secrets. It's mano y mano. We haven't faced the Cardinals in a while, and they haven't seen Raisel Iglesias, so there's that. But again, the Cardinals have a lot of mojo with them, with the retirements and potential retirements and baseball god things and all that stuff. I think it doesn't matter once it's set, and whatever happens between the white lines is what's gonna matter. And obviously that's probably the most cliche answer I could ever come up with, but that is what it is. Yeah, I mean that's but that is definitely true for sure. And the Cardinals can go into defense or offensive lulls. I think earlier this month they had a 43 inning scoreless streak, and that seems impossible with Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt and Albert Pujols. But it is good pitching beats good hitting most of the time, so should be interesting to see. And you're right, the competition leaves a little bit to be desired, but and I think the Brewers kind of were weird. The Brewers had every opportunity to take the spot from the Phillies, but they just couldn't do it. They never had enough offense. Yeah, that is true too. I mean, but again, with the Phillies, there's just no secrets and so that would be super mano y mano, and we beat them 11-9. We played them well at home, so, but again, anything can happen in any series, so I don't really have a preference. I'm just glad we get a little mental break, and as fans, as players, as coaches, all of that, because this season has been absolutely insane. From June 1st, 23 and 27 to the 14-game winning streak to losing Ozzy in the midst of the 14-game winning streak to Von Grisham coming up to Michael Harris to Spencer Strider, the mega comebacks, the close wins, the heartbreaking losses, Matt Olson coming and making his presence felt this last week plus. Dansby Swanson being super clutch, and again, obviously we've got bigger fish to fry, so to speak, with the postseason. But I want Swanson back. Who knows if that will happen? But again, I'll trust Alex Anthopoulos.
Sometimes we go too far. I have
with that. But I think honestly,
Taco Bell went a bit crazy with its breakfast. It was too much. What you need in the morning is tasty, simple food. Fluffy eggs, melty cheese.
Yeah.
Sausage,
Oh, that I can completely agree. Help all 3 games, and all of them are extra innings, and all of them are extra innings, and we just sit back and enjoy great baseball, but stress-free baseball for us, and have just great stuff there. The Braves have never really hit Waino really well too, so that's another factor for me. But again, I'm good with either. But thinking back on it, I think I thought the oh yeah, that's right. So Hudson, you were the reason we started to turn it around then. But yeah, I remember that because that was that was the last game in Arizona was June 1st, but then we started in Colorado after that, I think. But I think one of the obviously every game mattered because every game mattered, but I think the biggest one was the 8-7 extra inning game victory against the Phillies after that monsoon and Charlie Morton and his home run ball, and we were able to get it to tie it on a wild pitch. Because I think after the 9-1 loss and Jake Odorizzi struggling as much as he did, I actually was mentally preparing myself for the wild card, and then us just continuing to do things is absolutely insane. And I guess Hudson, that might put June 1st on the World Series ring this year if we get it, and you have to get one if that's the case. But yeah, I think that was obviously one of the bigger games. Spencer Strider's 16 punch out game.
Well, I think Gus Malzahn was going to go for it, so he knew he had 2 downs to get it. But you don't want to lose yardage on 3rd down because now you're at 8.
I wouldn't blame you on that one if you did sell your car for the ring if it ends up happening that way. But I mean, it's so insane that you look at how close this race was, and literally every game mattered. And something that annoyed me this whole time was people arguing the fact that early games don't matter, or trying to play them off as less important. Obviously, every game is important, but and you'd like to get off to a better start, but belaboring the point of every game matters and doesn't matter and blah, 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 blah. That was just kind of tiresome and annoying, and obviously the schedules and yeah, that was the one against Tanner Scott. Yeah, that 99 center cut to tie it 1-1. Yeah, that was huge. That was another extra inning game, and I think that's the series where we used our entire AAA rotation and won that. That was nice. Elder, Anderson, Muller, and I can't remember who else started in that
264 yards
in that series.
1 away, no touchdowns so far.
Elder. Elder.
50 or more games over the last 5 seasons.
Elder's super huge. The complete game shutout against the Nationals, the couple games against the Marlins. Ian Anderson, even though he had a down year and it was ugly for him, 10. He still had 10 wins. And an oblique issue at the end, so that kind of washed him out. So that was kind of sad. But he did still give us 10 wins, and obviously all of those. And Kyle Wright, yes, it was very fitting that Acuna caught that ball where he got hurt. Kind of baseball god tapping Acuna on the shoulder, say you deserve this one. And yes, Acuna wasn't like the insane Acuna that we've seen, but 80% of Acuna is better than probably 50 to 100 baseball players that are in this league right now. And what Acuna brings to the table, the intangibles, all of it. I love that our defense in the outfield, for the most part, is going to take 2 hits to at least 2 hits to score a run on us, as long as we don't give up a walk or a self-inflicted wound. That is really, really important with Michael Harris. Obviously, Michael Harris, I think, was the biggest player for us this season, and what he established for our defense, and then what he eventually established for our offense as well. Just insane. Yeah. Freed should be fine. I think it was just a stomach bug, or at least I hope it was just a stomach bug, but that just tells you that Max Fried might be better when something's wrong with him than he is when he's 1,000%. And obviously nobody's 1,000% right now. I mean, 10 and a half games is something that nobody, no matter how the season ends, nobody can take it away from us. And Ben Ingram is one of the best to do it. Come at the Kings, and you better not miss. Everything, goosebumps, and goosebumps and all of that. But yeah, I think Max is okay. Hopefully, he can get rid of whatever this illness is. But I trust Max no matter what. He knows his body as well as anybody, and he's not gonna go out there if he doesn't think he can do it and do it at a high level. So I'm really, really, really excited for what.
And now I'm back. This is a reminder. Express your extraordinary love. Jared, love brilliantly.
Yes, there's definitely a possibility that Spencer Strider will be back for probably maybe 2 inning stints here and there, which would not be a bad thing at all. It definitely would not. And then kind of build it up as we go. That would be nice. But we'll see. Threw on flat ground today. Back-to-back days for that. So progressing there. So again, that's why I don't know who asked it, but it was at the beginning. That's kind of going to be my key, is starting pitching and kind of being able to bridge it to give us 6, maybe one or a couple more times than we did last postseason, just because the uncertainty of Strider and Fried and things of that nature. It's going to be key. Obviously, Charlie Morton with the home run ball, is kind of scary. But Charlie's a big game pitcher, and I'll trust him for what we got. And yeah, we're not talking about the Panthers. No reason to. But yeah, it's pitching. Peter talked about Tyler Matzik being a 2-inning guy possibly. I think he's still going to make the roster, but I just don't know if I can trust Tyler Matzik with this stuff versus last year. And I know he turned into a postseason folk hero, and none of us expected that. But the dip in velocity and just the hard hits and the walks, I just 1 inning at most for Tyler feels as much as he can give, just the way his stuff has played out this year. And it probably has something to do with basically carrying us on his back.
Where they stood, or the drastic turnaround that we have seen in the style of play of this defense.
So I don't know. Peter said that Tyler Matzik will definitely be on the roster. I don't know if that's a definite, but yes, Ben Ingram is one of the best to do it, and will always be. He's such an amazing guy. I did an interview with him after the World Series last year, so hopefully we can repeat that as well. Yeah, you're right. So, I mean, with McHugh, Chavez, Iglesias, Minter, Kirby Yates.
That's a jet sweep that comes down as a pass. He turns the corner and they can't touch him.
Sorry, guys. Kirby Yates, I think he.
About the numbers adding up.
I think he has the possibility of being a part of the roster, but his was elbow inflammation, so I'm not completely accurate on his status right now. So
one of the new receivers on the outside.
I don't know exactly. Probably, most likely, no, but maybe like a very, very 5% maybe. But Strider being a big time possibility for the DS really helps. Yes, not having Ozzy really hurts because I think that definitely puts
We're hitting the trails between these.
because I mean you've got what Orlando Arcia and Von Grisham. Not that I don't think those guys can handle it because Orlando's been with us, been through it. And I think Orlando will get most of the play because he's a veteran. But I think Von Grisham will be on the roster, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, Ozzy's a huge missing piece. Hopefully, we make it long enough to see the possibility of Ozzy coming back. But we'll see on that. But he was fielding ground balls today. Yeah, Michael Harris is probably the reason that we are where we are right now. So him getting the first start in the postseason, first of many, feels really good.
I've always loved building things.
That's true.
Not just structures and skyscrapers, but teams who make it all possible. After all, we wouldn't be where we are today without them. So we made sure that, like these buildings, their futures may also.
Well, that's really good that you're not gonna miss any of that, Joseph. But yeah, you're right. Super cold Aussies. I don't know if that's the vibe either. Orlando's had some really big at bats, so is VG. So I think we're solid at second, no matter which route we go. But I do not want to see Michael Harris the second and the third hole, even though he smoked some balls in the Mets series. I just like him in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th hole. It just seems more comfortable. Adrianze, yeah, he could. Definitely. He had one of the bigger hits for us last year. So he gives you a great at bat too, so we'll see there. I don't know. But in terms of the lineup, I would prefer Michael Harris to stick in the 6, 7, 8, 9 hole. I just feels the vibe there, and I know it would help if Ozzy was back because the switch hitter stuff, but
no doubt about it. You know, great players like Ryan O'Keefe just want to get them the ball in space. A little shovel pass ahead.
But just not possible. But really liking the vibes. Matt Olson, 44 doubles, 78 extra base hits. Second behind Austin Riley, 79. Dansby Swanson doing Dansby Swanson things. Ronald Acuna doing Ronald Acuna things.
Pass out to Trey Siggers, and Siggers near the first down.
Well, Strider's only going to be able to give you 2, likely.
All UCF in this second half.
An opener type, so.
Rasheed Rice, though, has been the story and the star, and flags come flying out at the end of that play.
Well, yeah. Well, the hangover stuff must have affected our pitchers, but definitely not our offense for whatever reason. But yeah, if it weren't for Peyton Burdick, he would have had 3 homers today.
Another 100-yard receiver.
But just really happy. I didn't realize Freddie only had 20 homers, which obviously nothing to sneeze at, and it's a different ballpark and all that. But and I'm not trying to stir anything up with the comparisons or anything. I just didn't realize Freddie barely got to 20 this year, and Matt ending at 34 was is really insanely nice to see. And he looks more happy, more comfortable, and obviously that helps with the results and us winning. But Matt just fits. Matt just seems to fit in what he does, and very steady defensively. So
plenty of time for Mordecai, but just nowhere to go with the football.
Yeah, well, I think. Yeah, Iglesias has been absolutely phenomenal, beyond words. I think it was 1 earned run since he put on the Braves uniform. So, and it's been absolutely disgusting, unhittable. And Kenley Jansen becoming unhittable last night, almost pinning the immaculate inning. That would have been so sweet.
Another turnover on downs. Wilson was bringing the pressure.
But
take a break here from UCF. Come back with us.
I don't know if Jake Odorizzi fits in the plans of a long man or something. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I think it depends on who we play. I don't think he does, but he might. So that should be an interesting name to follow in terms of the postseason roster. But I think it's pretty much set. And yes, all Iglesias needed was a change of scenery. It's been really phenomenal. And it's funny, too, Colin Mchugh, Twitter kept telling me that Colin Mchugh was bad. And he didn't start off great for Colin, obviously, in a Braves uniform. But since, June or July 4th, he gave up, maybe 5 or 6 runs total. So, and it's funny that we kind of have the great mix of flamethrower / soft tosser / different arm angles, and the fact that Iglesias can go different arm angles with
Will you make something better? Will you create something entirely new?
With throwing 96 to 97.
Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with the tools and expertise you need to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator.
Oh, I'm insanely happy for it from my perspective as a fan to get a kind of breather. I know it's the rest versus rust thing for baseball, and it makes sense, but mentally I need to be able to watch baseball and not be super stressed, and just really not care about the result, but want great baseball. And I think it benefits the Braves with trying to get Ozzie back, trying to make sure Max is healthy, and trying to see that we can get Spencer Strider back. And obviously, I think it's going to be huge too because of the lockout. There isn't going to be as many off days as well. So this extra little burst of
making things happen with his feet and his arm. Really nice throws tonight. The athleticism. Drops this one in.
Yeah, it should be good. And plus, they're not going to stop working out and taking swings and things of that nature.
In the second half of over 20 yards.
So I think not having as many off days because of the lockout, that's going to be huge. And
going into the half, and then since then UCF has won
the runners in scoring position thing today. I don't really. I mean, yeah. Today they were a little
through the air, and he's done that.
And his receivers has stepped up as well.
A couple of transfer receivers and Javon Baker,
Um,
Kobe Hudson on the outside, of course. One of the stalwarts for this team, Ryan O'Keefe.
the runners in scoring position thing. That's always going to be key. But the good thing is we're still getting runners in scoring position. And last night, even though it was gross and annoying and hair pulling to watch, there were still some good at bats. And the 2 runs we
Get your first win in conference here.
we did get were 2 outs, 2 strikes, big time stuff. So there is that. You just gotta execute the ABC baseball stuff. So that's the worry, obviously. So that is definitely gonna be a key. So we'll see how it plays out. But I said this earlier, but our prowess with 2 outs, 2 strikes, that and the mindset we have and the abilities that we've had, that at bat that Travis had on Sunday night, he was totally in swing mode, and to be able to battle out of 2 strikes, get to 2-2, and not try to do too much with a curveball. That was probably the at bat of the year, and that's the mentality that we have every game, especially in the biggest games. So I feel pretty confident in that, but obviously you got to execute, and hopefully we do that with the sac flies, the productive outs, and things of that nature. But the good thing was we were still getting runners in scoring position, so it's only a matter of time before the floodgates open, so to speak. So that is huge for the runners in scoring position factor. And I mean, with a bullpen, you don't have to score a lot.
They mentioned, since we know each other so well, there's a lot of disguising that you have to do with signaling.
Well, stealing signals. It's all part of the game.
Yeah.
Coaches are paranoid as it is. They were super paranoid in this game.
You don't. I mean, you want to score a lot to make it easier on your guys, but you feel confident as long as you just continue to keep your approach and keep your mindset in a good way. And I think having the great bullpen that we do, that takes a little pressure off, and hopefully we can carry that into the postseason as well. I think that's going to be huge. Yeah. Minter definitely stressed us all out. But thank God Fortes popped that one up. That pop-up probably took about 20 years off my life, because I think Arcia and Dansby were looking at each other, and that was a 10-mile high pop-up. So I hope
Low and into the hands of Baker. Sit down, no, what's up?
Hey, you guys were just talking about that GA room. First of all, can you imagine the offensive minds in that room?
I hope that we have a couple of blowout games just to help out the bullpen and with the off day factor again. I think hopefully that happens, but again, I think it's gonna come down to every pitch, every inning, and try to keep it to one pitch, one play at a time. And I think playing as meaningful baseball as we played this entire season, I think that's going to benefit us as well. So, who we on? The Mets or the Padres? I think the Padres have more power than the Mets, and that could be an issue. I don't know. All of the wild cards seem like a coin flip. I kind of don't want to see the Toronto Blue Jays. I know we didn't face them this year, but they blew our doors off last year, and it's pretty similar of a team. Yeah. The Padres have a lot of. I mean, they're kind of a mismatched team that I really can't figure out, but they.
Total of 474 yards total offense for UCF
with
in this one.
Yu Darvish, Musgrove, even though Musgrove struggled in the second half of the season, Snell. I think it's weird that Juan Soto struggled so much. Kind of like Matt Olson did for that 7 for 79 stretch or whatever it was. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's the West Coast going East Coast to West Coast trying to mesh. But I think Tatis kind of took the air out of everything, and I think they've done a heck of a job kind of keeping it afloat. So that should be interesting there. But I think you got Manny Machado, Brandon Drury, but I'm just not sure. Machado, Soto are definitely the circle guys, but we haven't seen San Diego since the first.
I'm maybe shortchanging you.
Since the first half, so I can't really speak to them too much until I see them play, to be honest. But I think the Mets kind of may have lost their glue guy, and Starling Marte might be back, but Starling Marte feels like the Mets version of Dansby Swanson, just the glue guy, the veteran, the one that comes up with the clutch hits, the big time at bats and things of that nature. And I don't think he's going to be back for game one, so or for the wild card rather. So that should be interesting there. I think the Guardians are one to look out for in the AL. Frankly, the Guardians. Or the Seattle Mariners for that matter, just because they're the feel-good stories, but the Guardians nobody's really talking about, and wins, blah, 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 kind of like the Braves last year. So this playoffs is going to be a wild, wild, wild ride, and I'm very excited to see it.
No, she just shouldn't have left a voicemail. 9 out of 10 times.
And I'm gonna be really happy just to watch the first round playout, because we all know that 3-game series can go any way.
Surprise!
CJ, we weren't expecting you.
Hey, buddy, what are you doing here?
Hey, go state.
You replaced me with star quarterback Bryce Young?
I could never replace you.
Here's your Dr. Pepper, Mom. Mom?
Yeah.
Just a silly nickname.
Came up with
The
that.
Seattle Mariners are pretty similar to the Braves, and that was
Next time on Fans.
a really fun series.
Get out of my room.
Dr. Pepper, the one fan.
Even though that one felt really annoying, that might have been the turning point for Kenley Jansen, because since then, his last 11 appearances,
Yep, the camera's incredible.
he went
But everyone should
8 for 8 in saves.
every new customer,
And every existing customer.
every iPhone,
Every iPhone.
every iPhone, every. Okay, my work here is done. Everyone gets the best deal.
Yes,
on every iPhone.
I want back-to-back champions, so people can say, even though I know it's really hard to do, but I think we have the best chance of any to do it. The formula is there. It's just gonna come down to in the white lines and see what happens. We had 4 shutouts last year, so we'll see if the pitching holds up to those standards. The night shift still be as locked down as it has been.
UCF in control of this one, and although the offense has been great
Oh,
in the
yeah.
second half, defense has been great.
I was yelling at the TV as well. Probably not safe for TV words, but feels really good. The opportunity,
Talking about this UCF defense, they have stood up.
and frankly, to win 100 games after a World Series championship, and how much we had to battle last year, how much we had to battle this year, and win 100 games or 101 and beat the Mets the way we did. There's a lot of momentum and a lot of good. But and it's so exciting. No matter what happens, this year has been special, amazing in so many ways. And I'm gonna go with my pitching X factor is gonna be Raisel Iglesias, and my hitting X factor is going to be Eddie Rosario. But again, like Hudson said earlier, it's probably whoever's in left field, but I'm going to go with those two as my X factor. Yes. Hey, Mark, nice to see you again, finally. But yes, those no stress wild card series are going to be very, very nice. Question, should I cover those series or just a entire video of all the games, or individual? I can't decide on that.
And of course, if you tell that story, that's real life from POW, resonates a little bit more with you. Indeed.
I can't decide. Should I cover it or
With the catch.
or just an entire video of the playoffs that day?
Only scored once. You know, so if they've gotten yardage, they just can't score. And again, credit that UCF defense.
Especially
Eddie's been hitting a lot better. Eddie's been hitting a lot better recently. Excuse me.
from here, how do they regroup on their first year head coach?
Tough losses. The Maryland game.
Yeah, I'll probably just do a daily recap. It won't take that long. But I appreciate it. Breaks are good. Sorry, I'm eating pumpkin seeds. But yeah, I'll probably just do a quick, real non-detailed daily recap probably. But if I miss a day or here, I'll definitely it'll be all good. Eddie's been hitting better, but I don't need to see him struggle as much as he did in the Mets series. That's for sure.
They wanted to make up for it. American crew. They actually done a nice job.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'll probably just end up doing a daily recap. Obviously, probably not as detailed as I get with the Braves, but I'll do what I can. Because the Panthers have definitely not inspired me to do many videos. So Braves baseball overall, and obviously the Hornets are going to start and things of that nature. Yeah, Joey Meneses was never going to crack our farm system the way it was set. He probably could have now with the DH, obviously, but I'm glad that Joey's gotten an opportunity, excuse me, and taken it and ran with it. Yes, it's with the Nationals, but really glad to see him.
This week, obviously 11 days from that TCU game.
Oh, I do the Hornets every year. It's probably going to be... Hey, Garrett. It's probably going to be... I'm going to do the Hornets like I do every year, but again, they don't inspire much right now, but I will stick with them. The Panthers are just... I'll just be yelling at my phone for about 30 minutes if I did that, so... So I didn't think that was actually helpful in any way, so that's why I've kind of not. I know the Panthers play football. They supposedly play football is what the idea is, but yes, the 5 days off again. For our players, our coaches, and our fans, that's the thing. Yes, our soccer team is better than the Panthers. Unfortunately, they knocked out of the playoffs today, but to even have a remote chance at the playoffs in the first year, that's absolutely incredible. So that future is bright at least. But yeah. As for everything else, I will decide, but I will do Hornets recaps, daily playoff recaps, very, very likely. But again, the X factors are for me, Eddie Rosario and Raisel Iglesias in the playoffs, and obviously there's going to be a rando. There's probably going to be like a Robbie Grossman sighting or something where something unexpected happens, and that is totally fine with me.
You know, you put a new quarterback in, you still got to get after him a little bit here with 2 minutes left. Don't want those snaps.
Yeah. I know Riley struck out a little bit more, but he's still gotten on base with the hit by pitches, with the walks, and things of that nature. But yeah, him getting a little bit first half hot would help. That'd be nice. And Ronald Acuna Jr. getting on one of those insane hot streaks wouldn't hurt either.
31 overall for the head coach. Just a reminder, coming up Saturday on.
I don't ever worry about Dansby.
AT&T Red River Showdown.
I really don't. I mean, in the biggest situations, in the biggest moments, 2 strikes, 2 outs, I don't really care who does it. It's just that someone does it. And that we don't get into too many. And that we don't get into too many, like, strikeout binges. That's going to be key. Because we're going to strike out, but the competitive nature of the strikeouts and stuff is going to be huge.
Bring out the new uniforms, all the new stuff, the space game. Students always love that.
Temple.
They get that merch.
Yeah,
merch out. That's my daughter today.
I like that, Reedy. Listening, man. You're listening.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Dansby's totally fine.
The merch is usually going into my wallet, too.
It's,
what are dads for? Yeah. Especially with daughters.
Yeah. Nah, I think he's totally fine with us having a bye. I mean, yeah, you want him to keep hitting, but I think that subtle adjustment with his hands not being so far, that kind of his stance at the beginning kind of reminded me of Jason Hayward's stance a little bit. And the fact that he moved it in a little bit is helping him get the fastballs more. And I think he's going to be able to keep that up.
When you look at the way this game started and the way it's coming to
everybody could use a day, but Dansby and Olsen, what was it? 34, 103, and 78 extra base hits, and he led the team in walks as well. So, I think, honestly, and I don't mean to bring up a sore point because who knows what's going to happen, but I think I'll shed more tears if Dansby Swanson doesn't come back versus Freddie, just because the leadership, the shift, the defense, the consistency defensively.
2 seconds remaining on the clock.
The consistency defensively from Dansby is just second to none, and the leadership because I think you could shift Vaughn Grisham to left field, and obviously I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but that just came across my brain.
You're looking to take any type of positive momentum into next week.
Yeah. So.
Well, here's the remaining SMU schedule. After the triple option, they have to prepare for
that's just my thoughts on Dansby, and obviously it does help that I met him and he was super nice to me, and that experience and how genuine he is, and just the love of Atlanta overall and what he's done to become a consistent and one of the most consistent players in baseball. The work ethic, the leadership, the defense. He should win a Gold Glove this year. If he doesn't, it'll be another travesty. But Yeah. I think so too. And now Jason Hayward's done, and I think he's gonna retire this year. I really do. I do feel more confident in signing Dansby. I don't know what's gonna happen. I know the shortstop class is huge and top heavy and amazing. So, and I trust Alex Anthopoulos to do what's best, obviously. But yeah. But just the defensive consistency itself, the play that he made to start off the ninth off Brandon Nimmo's bat in that wicked hop. Just the consistency of that is yeah. Yep. It's just insane. So I just wanted to bring that up, not as a potential sore spot, but just the idea. And it would kind of be nice if Alex Anthopoulos wanted to yeah.
Of the season coming up next NFL 5.
Yep, for sure. I just feel it would be so much. It's just so much easier that way. If we do it that way. Not saying that Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, none of that. That's. But
Burrow says he enjoys playing Baltimore, but we'll tell you exactly what he needs to look out for with that Ravens defense. And sometimes.
But so obviously we don't have to worry about that right now, which is a good thing. But it would be nice if Alex Anthopoulos just randomly we get a notification that he signs. That he signed a extension during this little 5-day break. That'd be awesome. It would really be awesome, but I wouldn't dispute that, but you know what's crazier to me is that the Yankees let Aaron Judge get this far is more crazy, and then
let's get right to that. New on NFL Live, Adam, just a day away from Colts Broncos. What's the status of Colts running back Jonathan?
No, it probably won't be till the off season, but Alex Anthopoulos has had a knack for random, cool extension signings. The Riley one came out of nowhere. The Morton one kind of came out of nowhere, and I know people are balking given Morton's home run, but he'll be able to. Yeah. But I think Morton with his playoff pedigree, with his still being able to strike out 200, and the ability to have a full off season, that's going to be huge for Morton. That's why the $20 million extension doesn't scare me. So
I'm obsessed with this game. I'm obsessed with taking steps and just growing. And that knowledge comes from.
And that's kind of what I'm hoping.
That comes from
in terms of Swanson.
It comes from defensive-minded coaches. It comes from a lot of different individuals. So I'm a person. I just want to soak it all in and kind of use what can help me.
That's what makes him hurts firmly.
Yeah, it would be.
Through 4 weeks, and a big part of that is
but one can dream, right?
Jalen Hurts ranks top 3 in QBR completion percentage in.
But I again, like a lot of us, I trust Alex Anthopoulos in control of this team. I trust Brian Snicker, even though a lot of people like to bash Brian Snicker, but I love him and I love the mentality that he has. This entire team. So I'm really, really happy. The state of this team, I think we are probably the best or top 2 run organization. Yeah, I did see Greg Maddux shout us out last night, and always beating the Mets is a nice thing. And yes, it is. And I think the good thing, and I guess I can say this now, is because we won the division, the rivalry with the Mets, I think it's more back now. And that's really nice to see from old school guys. And we have a lot of Met killers. Dansby Swan. Dansby, Riley.
To the football, and you replace him with a simple slant. It's so easy for Jalen to operate. He does it at a very high level, and it is impossible for the defense to be right on it.
That's so good because you showed the same box. And it's 7 people within the box on offense. You already short before the play.
I think VG, if that eventually happens where we have a payroll like that, I think you can move VG to the outfield. And honestly, I think it might be a quiet offseason for the Braves.
Right now, he's third in the league with 356 rush yards, 72 attempts.
It could be a quiet offseason for the Braves after you figure out shortstop, maybe figure out Marcell Ozuna contract that, and then maybe a bullpen piece here or there. But it might be a kind of quiet offseason. Who knows? But we're in a great spot if that is the case. And Alex Anthopoulos always comes out with some new things. Yes, we weren't swept this year. And we only lost 4 straight twice. So that is very, very, very impressive in the last 2 teams to do it.
Disguising what it is and then doing that so smoothly.
Absolutely. Like when the RPO was first implemented, like from a defensive standpoint.
I've heard DeGrom that we would do that, but I don't know.
Everybody rallied to the back. But now these guys are hiding the ball so well and riding.
I don't know if
I think his point is even more so the tempo that Miles has.
I don't know if the Charlie Morton extension takes us out of DeGrom or whatever. Who knows? But that should be interesting. I've heard that Aaron Judge might go to the Giants. But I think that is terrible what the Yankees have done, letting that go as far as they have. And I appreciate that Aaron Judge bet on himself and the record as it is. But I think if Yankees lose Aaron Judge, there may not be any coming back from that one. But watching our payroll and watching us continue to lock up our guys and the love that they have for the Braves and this organization and this fan base, it gives me the warm and fuzzies. And obviously coming off the World Series, 100+ wins, winning the division for a 5th straight time out of nowhere, really, it doesn't really get any better than what we have built and made, and everybody. And it's funny to me that when we were doing GMs, everybody wanted Dayton Moore. Nobody knew about Alex Anthopoulos.
He had his press conference today with the media, and it had an interesting ending. Take a listen.
And I don't think a lot of people understood.
Any questions about the Cardinals for real this game? So I don't want y'all thinking this is a really good team about to play. They have a really good defense.
Alex Anthopoulos is probably a really, really, really underrated signing underrated get from many, but I was really excited. And obviously he's made me look like a genius in my brain. I don't think I ever said it out loud that Alex Anthopoulos was gonna be as huge as he has been, and as much of a genius as he has been. But sometimes it's the small moves that no one really knows about.
There's no detail
There,
there's no
so
rhyme or reason. I don't need, like, oftentimes we have these conversations
Yeah.
of, well,
3.1 million and 42 42 sellouts, I think. So that is epic.
I think they're lacking such an understanding of, well, this is who we are.
That's super epic there. There's just so much that you could go into and love about the Braves, and that is the best thing ever. And I didn't really like Blooper at the beginning, but Blooper has really grown on me, and
Here's my thing, and I agree with you, but what I also think with this offense, and this is why we've been so critical of
I mean, it's just funny to watch the trajectory of all the moves that we make and make sure that they fit us and don't make the knee-jerk moves, and just how we do things. Blooper has definitely grown on me as one of the best to ever do it, and maybe the luckiest mascot in terms of when he came in and what he's meant to us as a Twitter account, as a team, and everything. It is the small things, and Blooper is certainly a part of that. But I think we covered everything. Is there anyone else wants to add? I think I covered a lot of really good. I think the biggest game for us this year was obviously June 1st, but the 8-7 extra inning game against the Phillies, to come back and split that series. I think that was huge. Obviously the Mets series, but the Phillies getting that split was my biggest game of the year. But
I'm not against shorter quarterbacks, but for whatever reason, in the history of the National Football
the Rays and Guardians, I think it'll go 3 games. I think if it doesn't go 3 games, I really think that the Guardians have it. If you could do one thing with one player on, if I could do one thing with one player on these off days, I would. Let's see. It would be. That's a good one. I would Dansby Swanson or Ronald Acuna Jr. and it would be just because it's been on my mind and it's like my bucket list thing to go ziplining with ziplining over water. I don't know why that's like a bucket list thing for me, and I don't even know if I could do it. But Dansby Swanson, Ronald Acuna Jr., ziplining, or just really talking baseball or playing video games. That would be super.
You guys, that's the reality of it. You guys both bring up good and great points. I would say this.
That's my
Cliff's system. I really don't believe can thrive in Cliff's system, and I often say that in the league. This is the NFL. You should not fit anywhere. You should be in a place where you can thrive. I honestly believe Kyler would thrive way more in a Kyle Shanahan system.
That
Because the premise of
fishing
that
with
is
Ozzy, I could do that
throwing lanes that
for
you're
sure
talking about
too.
with
Though
the
that was a good
aspect
one.
of
That was a
sending
good
play action
question.
pass moving in. Right now, this feels like we're just going to go attack the green grass, and if we see it the same way, great. And if we don't, quarterback will make a play. And at times it works because he's so talented, but that is not something that is
That's a heck of a question right there.
Interesting thing.
I've ever seen him under center. Am I
Not
blind or something?
Not much, yeah. Here's what I would say. I mean, there's plenty of people in that Shanahan tree, so you wonder if that ends up happening where you could see Kyler in a system where he would thrive.
They have to build something with his movement.
Yeah,
Like,
he's uber
consistent.
talented there,
build
right?
something rather
All right, we're just getting started here on NFL Live, guys. Cowboys defense is off to a red
Oh, is today the 10-year anniversary of the wild card of the infield outfield fly rule thing? I think it is. Ugh. Yeah, playing catch with them, talking baseball, that's a good one too. Always. But I might actually steal that question, Hudson, and see what the Twitter world would have to say on that one. That's just too good. Oh, I know. Too soon. Sorry, but I just saw the Mark Owens, our guy that does the ballpark thing. He just posted a thing about the 10 years ago. The outfield. I still can't believe that we put that under protest, but it didn't matter. Like, I don't understand. Do they actually, if you put it under protest, do they actually do something? I mean, because I've never seen it. I mean, I know they did in the George Brett game, but I've never seen it because that was like blatantly one of the worst calls any of us have ever seen.
Really? Free testing and charging?
And if you need a new one, we've got you.
Really? Welcome to America's #1 battery destination. AutoZone, your battery solution.
I insist. It's your turn. Get farmers, and you could save money with.
Because I think the only one that I remember anyone doing was the George Brett Pine Tar thing, and then they like replayed that. But I don't, because that was one of the most blatant things I've ever seen. But yeah, so again, did not mean to bring up bad memories, but
Then, before you know it, you make your first sale. Small business first never stop coming. And you have a partner that always puts you first. GoDaddy, tools and support for every small business first.
The Sunday NFL Countdown.
yeah, ooh, and also on your question, Hudson, I'd probably do something with the bullpen. Luke Jackson or Tyler Matzik, probably.
All right, Tua Tagovailoa won't play against the Jets this week. Of course, this is because of the concussion he suffered last week. See the play right there. The Dolphins still 3-point favorites with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback and playing on the road.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, but that wild card. Whew.
ESPN Dolphins reporter Marcel Louis-Jacques.
Ooh, yeah, top golf, or like something like that.
But what is the latest on how he's doing this week?
Well, Mike McDaniel said that while Tua is still in concussion protocol, he'll
Yeah,
remain with the team.
that just opens up so many options.
While he makes his return, it'll be Teddy Bridgewater starting at quarterback for the Dolphins. And
even just a cookout. There's so many guys. Like Brian Snicker, I would just like to pick his brain about the mini stories and stuff.
All jokes aside, McDaniel did say
that would be amazing.
Offense has to change what it does, going from its side to its
switching a little bit here. I cannot believe the Angels are bringing back Phil Nevin.
That's Tua does. So
I thought they would
what kind of things can a backup quarterback
end up
to help
getting a clean slate
during the transition? And he said, "I just have to be myself. I can't be Tua," which is a lesson he learned during his time with the New Orleans Saints, filling in for Drew Brees. Your teammates see that you're not.
The Kansas City Royals have fired Mike Matheny and pitching coach Carl Edwards,
Teddy's conduct during the past several days has
the
allowed
team
him
announced
to
first
play free
move.
and play loose. And of course,
Wow.
his experience filling in for starters in his career helps. And McDaniel told us it's one of the reasons why Teddy is in Miami in the first place.
Thanks so much for Marcel.
Yeah, I was just weirded out by the Phil Nevin thing. I would have thought they would have just had a clean slate. Yeah, and totally.
I actually asked him about changing quarterbacks in Miami, and this is how it went down.
Totally agree.
Like QB doesn't necessarily matter to your production. I think you said you put a number with Alex Smith.
Yeah, Brian Snicker just a walking storyteller probably. But the bad part about the managerial stuff keep opening, because now you got Ron Washington, maybe Eddie Perez, maybe Walt Weiss, and I don't want to lose any of those guys, but they deserve a chance if they get them, and adding to Kansas City as a potential destination. But yeah, I think Phil Nevin, I think he's a great baseball guy, but I just thought that the Angels would go full clean slate kind of thing. But maybe he earned it, and we'll see what happens. So, see what happens.
If you watch that fourth quarter, he's still.
Yeah, Travis, that would be fun too. Being that my house is full of catchers, that would be really fun to pick their brains and see how it works.
Which tells me that he's playing fearless.
Yeah. I just don't know if that's going to be possible again to keep the coaching staff together, because I thought we were going to lose Ron Washington last year, or even Walt Weiss for that matter. But David Hill got a good opportunity with the Guardians, our old bench coach. So yes, I would love to keep our coaching staff together again. But we'll see. That's the curse of being really, really good. But I agree. I hope we can keep them together. And I honestly think it'll be Walt Weiss if and when Brian Snicker wants to hang it up. Honestly, that's just my thoughts.
And I thought that throw was one of my favorite throws, because so often he tries to do too much with his eyes. That was high school stuff.
Yeah, so that's just my thought on the coaching staff stuff. I heard Eddie Perez getting an opportunity with the Marlins. That's how much longer do I think Snit does it? Maybe 2 years. I don't know why. Because he's got. I don't know why 2 years is kind of stuck in my brain, but like with. Yeah, it's probably one of those. It's probably one of those things, because it depends on like Ronnie and what she wants to do with the grandkids and things of that nature. It depends on family, and with Troy Snicker being still in, being in being in baseball kind of helps, I think.
Isaiah Pacheco averaged 5.7. This is an anomaly from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. Now, I do want to give credit to the Kansas City Chiefs, but I do not expect a unit led by Levante David and Devin White.
Eddie Perez wasn't the first guy that came to mind, but I could see it, and it would suck if he went in intra-division. But I honestly thought we were going to lose Ron Washington to the Mets last year, so.
When you're playing against Patrick Sir.
Yeah, he is a sir. Really good point there. We got more coming your way.
So, but that's just some.
He said nothing to worry about there in Green Bay. No panic just yet. He'll tell you why Aaron Rodgers doesn't even need OBJ. We'll be right back.
Just some thoughts about the overall, and I'm glad that the Detroit Tigers stayed away from Dana Brown. so far.
Rules are rules.
And
Oh, come on, man. I just wanted a breakfast crunch wrap.
Sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. It's lunchtime now. If I make an exception for you, I have
that
to make
as
an exception
well,
for
so
everybody.
Who is everybody?
That's a good point. I have to ask my manager.
More people back there?
There's like a bunch of us.
so yeah, it's definitely interesting to watch other teams and how they manage things. Like how the Brewers didn't get any offense and then traded Josh Hader, and then it was weird. And I wouldn't be surprised if they made a interesting move with Craig Counsell. He's been there for a while. And Frank Kona, obviously with his health, that wouldn't surprise me either. That definitely would not surprise me either. Terry Francona, I love him, but he's getting up there and needs to take care of himself and for himself and his family. So that would be an awesome team to come into, depending on what the name is.
I still push myself physically every single day. The first time I put on the hair was like someone released the pressure.
Okay, switching sport for a second. Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole in practice today for whatever reason. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the Marlins have a lot of pitching. I don't know how you fix the offense, but it's a job for somebody, and I really can't peg who.
The InventHelp Data Bank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next.
But
get started today. Go to inventhelp.com for free information.
No matter where I am, NFL Plus is how
well, at least you have something to look forward to with the Hawks. With the Hornets, we really don't have anything, and Miles Bridges' legal troubles still hanging over. I don't expect much from us this year, so at least it'll be somewhat. It'll be something to watch and something still entertaining, but I'm still not expecting much, and at least the Hawks have some exciting stuff.
Well, some of the members like to relive their winning celebrations in slow motion.
He's not going to finish his career in here. I just don't see it. I'd love it too, but I don't see it. I guess I could have done a live of today's game, but it would have taken forever, so I prefer just talking about it this way. Yeah, LaMelo's going to still entertain us, but I don't think it's going to result in a lot of wins. But I think
At Chipotle, our guajillo recipe brings a whole new dimension to steak.
But I mean, I think I covered every sport, every thought of the Braves. If I missed any thoughts with the Braves, I might do a preview depending on who wins the series or whatever the case. But you will get every recap, everything.
ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app. Our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown.
Yeah.
Let's get out of
I think Terry Francona could coach any team and he would make them effective. He really would.
Jonathan Taylor was ruled out of Thursday night's game against the Denver Broncos due to the ankle injury he suffered on this play late in the game against the Tennessee Titans. The test came back negative on the ankle.
Yeah, I don't know. I really haven't followed the Hornets too closely, to be honest with you. So.
On Thursday night. Meanwhile, the Denver Broncos won't have Randy Gregory nor Javonte Williams, both players placed on IR.
So
he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Devontae Williams out for the season.
But I will give you my playoff predictions of the wild card before I sign off, and it's gonna be. I think the Padres are gonna beat the Mets. I think the Guardians are gonna beat Tampa. I think Toronto is gonna beat Seattle just because of the home field advantage, and I think what is the other wild card that I'm missing? Oh, the Phillies and Cardinals. I think the Cardinals ultimately win. I just do. So
did not practice today due to a right shoulder, right finger injury, and Kyle Pitts
we can
didn't practice due to a hamstring injury.
Exercise.
News around the NFL right now. Let's get back to the Cowboys, but specifically their defense. They carry this team in a big way in Dak's absence, deserve a ton of credit. What a huge win, by the way, it was to hold on to Dan Quinn as the defensive coordinator. The Cowboys have held each of their first four.
Exercise those demons. Apologize for the allergy stuff. That's still been lingering. But yeah, I think those are my predictions.
In 2009. So, Dana Marcus, what's the reason behind this dominant start from the Cowboys defense?
It's the best play in football.
Yeah, that works, Hudson. Yeah, it depends on what the cartoons are. Yeah, I'll watch a good cartoon here and there. But yeah, that'll work for me. 15 innings each game, that works. But yeah, I'm really excited for the playoffs, but really excited for the days of rest. Again, thanks guys. These live streams really help the watch hours. Please subscribe. Please like, comment, all that stuff. It helps a lot, and I know you guys, the main cast of characters, always do, and thank you so much for that. Yes, the runner at second base is out of the playoffs, so that is good for the Braves. So these lives really help.
Because of that, it's really set that way. Absolutely. And this defensive tackle who was head up on the nose, it's almost like
all right, we'll see who's right in the wild card. Obviously, we're all going for the Braves, so that's all that matters there. But we'll see who's right about the wild cards the next live that I do, and I will let you guys know about that. But this was a great one. You have a good night too, Garrett. Thanks guys. So much fun. Just like talking about anything and everything and nothing at the same time, and Braves and the greatness of the season, the craziness of the season, all of it in one just feels really good. Enjoy the off days, enjoy the good baseball. Go Braves, champions forever. And I forgot to do a sword slash in my celebration last night, so there's a sword slash for you. I'll talk to you guys later. As always, go Braves, champions forever. That was amazing.
Determined protection, and these guys not being able to communicate quickly. And now when you put a rabbit